Okay, water meter installation.
As we talked about, we have in our code of ordinances several statements about installation to the approval of the water superintendent, or something in that regards. As we work through this notion of getting the water meters placed inside, I do think that the city council ought to do one of two things. At a minimum, consider a policy statement like you got at the bottom of page 2. And that's just encouraging that the meters will be placed inside. You also may want to consider formulating that as an ordinance and actually codifying it. And if it comes to a time when we would need to recoup expenses from a citizen, an ordinance would give you much better standing to make sure that that's done. But if you look at that policy statement, I'd like for the council to, at a minimum, consider this now. That it's the council's desire that all the water meters would be placed within the customer's main bill. Okay, and whenever a broken or malfunctioning meter is replaced, it must be placed within a building. Okay, but if the water superintendent thinks that it's impractical for it to go in that main building, the meter can be placed in another location as approved by the water superintendent, such as a pit, but water meter pits must be designed acceptable to the water superintendent. And one of the big things is that it's accessible from the ground level. So if you have those water meter pits like are out at Dixieland, there's coiled tubing on either side of it. You can reach down in and pull the meter up and work on it at ground level. And Jack would, and he's very happy with those. They worked out pretty well so far, and he'd like to, if we have to have water meters, that would be the type that he would prefer. Okay? It's also stipulating then within the policy that all costs of moving an existing water meter are borne by the customer. What are your thoughts about that policy?
Is this policy set up when somebody has trouble or replace it, or is this something that we want that they all got to get it done by such and such date?
So this is just saying that basically if somebody's got problems right now and it requires a new meter, we're going to have them put that meter inside. If it's just reattached to the old meter or reconnect it and it's no problem with it, it would not compel that it be placed someplace else.
But he certainly has some that have been a problem who would want them to do this.
Yeah.
To avoid labor.
A reading wire gets hit by a weed whacker, that means malfunctioning, or what's the gray area on this, I guess?
Oh, there's a lot of gray area. Like I said, this is just a statement about really what the council ultimately would like to see. And it does not...
I mean, I agree with it, yeah. The ones that are unsafe to be, the pits that are unsafe to be working on, I mean, that's Jack's discretion. I mean, something he described, I mean, safe working conditions.
How will people be informed of this?
So far, it has been that the call up here to get their water meters reconnected for the year, and it's seasonal, folks. Are the almost exclusively are the pits. So, if they call up to get their water meters reconnected and they knew that they've had problems with it in the past, and it's only happened twice so far, but we've been pushing these two customers to have their water meters installed in their homes. Of course, that takes a plumber usually for them to do it. So far, nobody's been really lucky about it. They've been volunteering to do it so far, but it's only been 2 people.
What about the local area?
That's where these 2 are, is on Provo.
Could you send them notice then?
Well, I guess what does the council really want to do? Do you want to proactively get people to do this, or is it reactive when there's a problem?
It won't be a bad idea to let them know that it's coming down the pipe.
I don't know if they would make different decisions if they knew, I mean, if they would wait, or if they would wait longer, or, this kind of goes both ways, if they would.
I would say that if somebody's using a plumber for some plumbing related to the water meter, we probably know about it. And we'll be having this discussion with them at that time anyway.
Because this problem's been going on for years and years, it's time to put a break to it and get something done.
I just don't, you know, I just like to be upfront, you know, I don't want to ever feel like we're,
Backdoor them?
We could just send them all a notice and say, this is our account. Send them a copy.
And that's fine then, but what is what's the policy? Is the policy that it's taken care of when there's a problem, or is the policy that everybody's meter will be moved in?
I think the only one is a problem version of it.
I just think letting them know in advance as opposed to finding out when they call and say, I have a problem, or, you know, whatever. When you already have a problem and then you're getting hit with, you gotta move it inside and whatever, I mean, I don't know.
But could we just send something with their bill that says this is the policy?
Sure.
Doesn't affect you at this time probably, but
It may.
it may in the future.
You'll probably get phone calls asking how much. Do you anticipate this will cost?
I don't know,
Yeah, and
It's up
that's,
to the plumber.
or your plumber.
yeah, whatever the plumbing fees are, we'll provide the water meter.
But each one will be different, sure, because one's going to be tougher than the other. None of them will be easy.
I guess I'm okay with, you know, as they go or as they need to be replaced, but I guess Jack isn't here, I'd just like to know if there's ones that are really unsafe working on, you know, to get at, you know, he's gotta be crawling down in, you know, it could go for a hole to try to get at these. Maybe we should get those too. You know, I mean, maybe that's just something to ask Jack and his discretion.
Does Jack have an idea how many would be?
Would you change the policy then to indicate that
Ones that are
at the discretion of the water
unsafe
superintendent, the safety of our employees, blah, 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 what
Yeah.
is the dictate? I mean, that would cover you in that case too, without being sort of picking and choosing, you know,
Yeah.
now you've got a policy that essentially just covers that. And I think that's justifiable, don't you think, Karen?
So you'd have to draw this up in official ordinance and then run it through the vote process.
What I'd ask you to do is maybe twofold. If we could pass a policy tonight, that would, if any of these folks that we're working with give us any concerns about that, we can at least say here, it is certainly the council's desire that they want this to happen. And give Jack a little better standing on it. And if you want to work this through in ordinance form, we would then start that at the next meeting.
I'd make a motion to approve that policy with a change indicating the discretion and safety issues.
For a second?
I'll do that.
Okay, roll call?
Okay, well, no.
Yes.
Laney?
Yes,
Thank you.
Yes.
Schrader?
Yes.
then are we gonna do an ordinance too?
Want to draw it up for the next meeting?
I will prepare an ordinance.